Hello and welcome to this week's Women's Football Chat. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every Thursday at 6 p.m. and back in the usual slot this week, bringing you the very latest from the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England. That's the FA Women's National League. Now, we have had 3 leagues decided and 3 leagues still to be decided because of the postponements that we've had over the last few weeks. So we'll get right down to that in a few moments. But we are going to go through a couple of the bits of news first of all. We're going to start with preparation of a name change next season. So Crawley Wasps, of course, relegated from the Southern Premier Division this season. They will be in Division 1 South East next year. They will come underneath the banner of Haywards Heath Town. So new name for Crawley, they will be Haywards Heath Town next season. And then in terms of getting out of the FA Women's National League, there has been an important update which very handily came out between recording last week's show and posting last week's show. Important update from the FA regarding promotion and relegation between Tiers 2, that's the Women's Championship, and Tiers 3, that is the Northern and Southern Premier Divisions from next season. Read out the statement. The FA Board has this week recommended changes to promotion and relegation between Tiers 2 and 3 of the Women's Football Pyramid. These changes are subject to ratification by the FA Council, so they're not 100% guaranteed yet. In a significant shake-up of the existing structure, which sees one team promoted and relegated in the playoff, of course, the FA will remove the requirement of that playoff to determine the side promoted to the Barclays Women's Championship, which takes place between the respective winners of the National League, Northern and Southern Premier Divisions. Instead, both FA Women's National League Premier Division title winners will be rewarded for their success with promotion, with 2 clubs in turn being relegated from the Barclays Women's Championship. The changes will come into effect from the 23-24 season. It does say that the structural change will not impact the Super League and the existing system for promotion relegation to and from the Barclays Women's Championship. Not relevant for this show. So, from next season, if you win Tier 3, you get promoted. There should not be this playoff, which is brilliant. It means that this year between Forest and we don't know who yet, spoiler alert, is going to be the last one, provided that it gets ratified by the FA Council, which I suspect that it will. Which, of course, is brilliant and what it should have been like for quite a while now. People have been pushing for this for many years. The one thing it will see, I suspect, is that it probably will result in some longitudinal movement between the North and the Southern Premier Divisions. If you imagine that, every year you've got one from the North, one from the South going up into the Championship. Because the Championship is a national division, you're not necessarily going to get one from the North and one from the South coming down. You could, for example, this year the league has got lucky in the sense that you've got Coventry, but you could get 2 teams that are down in the South. Just off the top of my head, and I know Bristol City have got promoted, but say for example they didn't, and you've got Bristol City and Southampton that have come down. You'll then end up with the most Northern Southern Premier Division side going into the North, etc., etc. But that's something that the league will be able to cross as and when they get to it, and they might get lucky as well. Right, let's then have a look at the results from the past 7 days. We're going to start, of course. Well, these are all from the weekend, really, because there were no midweek this week, and we're recording on Friday. I covered all of last week's show. Northern Premier Division, everybody playing final round of fixtures In the North, AFC Fylde 2, Boldmere St Michael's 1, Rebecca Beresford and Alexandra Taylor with the goals for AFC Fylde, Evie Billingsley the goal for Boldmere St Michael's. Boldmere, of course, already relegated. AFC Fylde finish with a win. Wolverhampton Wanderers knew that they needed to better Forest's result for a chance to take the Northern Premier Division title for the second year running. They beat Brighouse Town by 3-0 away from home. Beth Merrick in the 33rd minute with one of their goals. That was after Anna Morfitt scored from the penalty spot just 10 minutes in. Naomi Bedu in stoppage time at the end of the game made it 3-0. Burnley also knew they needed to win to have a chance of taking the Northern Premier Division title, and they beat Liverpool Feds by 2-1 despite going behind and going into half-time behind by 1-0. Katie Thomas in the 4th minute put Liverpool Feds in front, but Evie Priestley in the 69th minute and Courtney Willis in the 85th minute meant that Burnley got the 3 points that they needed. Derby County 5, West Bromwich Albion 0. Derby County finish their season with a win. Anita Gaspar 24th minute, Amy Sims 33rd minute put them 2-0 up at half time. And then Kira Ray in the 48th minute off the substitutes bench. Marley Rhodes Andrews in the 56th minute. And my internet has decided that it wants to do some update and shut down Chrome. I love Macs when they work. Here we go, we're back again. So Kira Ray in the 48th minute, Marley Rose Andrews in the 57th minute and Jessica Camwell in the 75th minute. Huddersfield Town beating Loughborough Lightning by 3-1. Loughborough again, of course, already relegated. A brace for Brittany Sanderson in this one. 15th and 31st minute. Those are the 2 goals in the first half. Yasmin Mason got one for Huddersfield in the 94th minute as well. The Loughborough Lightning goal hasn't been put on the system yet, but 3-1 Huddersfield Town win that one. And then all eyes turn to Eastwood and Nottingham Forest against Stoke City. Wolves and Burnley did what they needed to do. Forest therefore needed to win in order to take the title. Bit of a nervy start to the game as well. What didn't go too well for Stoke was losing their goalkeeper Freya Heap in the 3rd minute after a collision with Charlotte Greengrass. They had to put Molly Holder in net. So with an outfielder in net for the entire game, it was always going to be slightly difficult for Stoke. The Forest then took a while for them, though, to break them down. Goal in the first half, 25th minute, to Rebecca Anderson put Forest in front, and it remained 1-0. It was a bit nervy at Eastwood. Then an own goal 6 minutes from time, then followed up by Yasmin Mosby just in the 89th minute as well for Forest, meant they won by 3-0. A game watched by 1,736 at Eastwood, and it made parking awful. But it was a great occasion. Carol West, the FA Women's National League chair, was there to present Forest with their medals and the trophy. So it is Forest who take the Northern Premier Division title on goal difference over Wolverhampton Wanderers, 54 points each. Burnley just behind them on 52. Derby in 4th, 38. Brighouse in 5th with 31. And then quite a bit of movement down towards the bottom. You can see there, particularly if you're watching the video version, between 6th and 10th, just 2 points separating Huddersfield and Stoke City. So a lot of movement down towards the bottom with Huddersfield and Fylde up 4 places and 2 places respectively, and West Brom, Liverpool Feds and Stoke City all down a couple of places. Boldmere St Michael's, having got up last season, go back down to Division 1 Midlands, and Loughborough Lightning are also down as well, having only only drawn 3 games all season, not winning a game. And so that means we've got obviously 2 Midlands-based teams down out of the Northern Premier Division, so we'll have some movement between Division 1 Midlands and Division 1 North before the start of next season. So that is the situation in the Northern Premier Division. Look at the table in a bit more detail. So Forest, win the league on goal difference, 63-44, so by 19 goals. 81 goals scored by Forest, far and away the most prolific in front of net. 18 conceded. Wolves actually the best team, 17 conceded. We'll go into stats in a bit more detail next week when all the leagues are finished and I need more content. So Forest win by 19 goals. Obviously, they had those big double-digit games. That made a difference psychologically, but in the end, not a difference in terms of the actual result. If you took those big double-digit games out and replaced them with the more normal results from the rest of from the reverse fixture, so I think it was 2 over Fylde and 4 over Boldmere. If you knock 14 goals off Forest, then it takes them down to 49. And they would still have won the league on goal difference. Yes, it would have been a lot closer, but Forest would have still won the league on goal difference. So they go into the playoff at Stadium MK on the 20th of May, so in a few weeks' time, a 1 o'clock kickoff there. They do not yet know, though, who they are facing in that playoff. Let's go through and have a look at the Southern Premier Division. Big win for Ipswich in their penultimate game of the season. Ipswich 8, Cheltenham Town 0. Only 1-0 at half-time here, though. And only 5 goals have been put on the system. Did they have a lot of penalties? I guess they maybe did. So, goals in this one. I'll have to go through slowly here. So, Sarah Bracero Chiera got a goal and a grey. Bonnie Elizabeth Horwood got 2 penalties. Eloise King, Sophie Peskett, Holly Turner. I hope that's 6. If it's not 6, then that's 5 plus 2 penalties for Bonnie Elizabeth. I assume there must be an own goal in there somewhere as well, but that's all we've got in terms of the full time situation there. So 8-0 Ipswich over Cheltenham Town. London Bees 4-0 over Bridgewater United. This was the crucial game towards the bottom to see who went down. A brace for Madison Solo, 1 for Louise Davis and 1 for Juliet Kinde Adbubale. 3-0 to London Bees by half time. So I think they Bridgewater knew that the game was up there. Oxford United 5, Gillingham 1. Goals here for Oxford. Leah Burridge, 13th minute. Reva Castley, 26th minute. Daisy McLaughlin, 45th minute. Then in the second half, 49th minute to McLaughlin again. And Natasha Stevens in the 72nd minute. Just 1 minute after coming on there. And Breon Grant with Gillingham's goal off the substitutes bench. Plymouth Argyle 3, Milton Keynes Dons 0. Zoe Cunningham with a brace off the bench. Georgia Wilson with the other goal for Plymouth Argyle. And a 1-0 victory for Portsmouth over Crawley Wasps. Alison Hall in the 67th minute. The difference there, what it means in the south is it's going to be a very, very tasty final day on Sunday. Oxford United top of the table at the moment, 51 points with a game to go. Watford in second on 50, Ipswich in third on 50. And those 3 teams are all playing their final game of the season on Sunday. And as you can see there above my head, Billericay Town take on Watford at home. Ipswich against Oxford. That is the big one at the top of the Southern Premier Division. So here's the situation then at the top of the division. So Oxford, if they win the league. Watford, if they win and Oxford fail to win, then they most likely win the league because of the goal difference advantage they've got over Ipswich. If Oxford, if Watford need Oxford not to win. Watford have to win as well. A draw for Watford is probably going to be a draw for Watford is no good. Sorry, I'm trying to do all the maths in my own head here as I'm speaking. So, if Watford draw, that's no good because either Ipswich win and they leapfrog them, they've drawn and Oxford stay ahead, or Oxford win and therefore it doesn't matter. So Watford have to win. Ipswich also have to win. A draw could be enough for Oxford if the other result goes their way, but all three teams essentially have to win. I would suspect, I don't know this, that Carroll West will now go to Ipswich, because it is likely that the winner will come from there. Having been in Nottingham last week, but don't know that for sure. Billericay Town could jump a place over Milton Keynes Dons. Down towards the bottom, Bridgewater United in that loss to London Bees, and with Plymouth winning, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway in the end. They are relegated down into Tier 4 as well as Crawley Wasps, who we now know are going to be obviously Haywards Heath Town. So that's the situation in the Southern Premier Division. So 2 games left to go, and they're all the teams at the top. We're watching that closely on Sunday, seeing what happens there. Right, Northern Division 1 North. Barnsley 4, York City 4. What a game there for those teams who to almost finish their season. Barnsley haven't yet. Barnsley took the lead in the 5th minute. Tavian Miles with their opening goal. York City equalised through Holly Findlay in the 10th minute. Then Amy Lee Barringham Beck put Barnsley up in the 14th minute, so 3 goals before the 15-minute mark. And then York City equalised again before half-time. Felicity Jones on the stroke of half-time, 2-2 at the break. Then York City take the lead for the first time in the game. 51st minute, Jones again makes it 3-2 to York before Barnsley then equalised with Barringham Beck's second goal of the game with 22 minutes to go, 3-3. Barnsley then take the lead again, 4-3. Natalie Watson with 15 minutes to go. And York equalise in the 2nd minute of added time at the end of the second half. Alice Hughes with the goal in that one. 4-4 between Barnsley and York. Thrilling game it must have been to watch that one. And they finish with a draw. Bradford City 0, Newcastle United 6. Newcastle, of course, needed to win this to keep up the challenge at the top. Brace for Erin Nelson, a brace for Georgia Gibson, one for Bethany Guy and one for Millie Bell as well. Made it 6-0 to Newcastle. That in turn relegated Bradford City to Tier 5 next season. Leeds United beat Merseyrail by 1-0. Merseyrail, of course, as well, also already back down into Tier 5. Just the 1 goal in the 58th minute for Leeds United. It doesn't say who got it, but somebody scored for Leeds United in the 58th minute. And then finally, Middlesbrough 0, Hull City 4. 4 goals for Hope Knights for Hull City. Means they win by 4-0. What it means for the table, again, it's another one. It's all crucial down at the top. So the bottom is sorted. Said that loss for Bradford City means that they are relegated to Tier 5. Merseyrail are back into Tier 5 as well next season. York City and Middlesbrough just survived by a few points, but it's up at the top again. 1 game to go between these 2 sides fighting out for the title. Newcastle United, who are currently top on goal difference, they're away at Barnsley on Sunday. And Chorley, who are down towards the bottom but now safe, they host Durham Sestra. Who is going to win this one? It's really difficult to actually determine this. You would think that Durham Sestra will probably beat Chorley. It's can Barnsley get a draw or something at home to Newcastle? Will it be Newcastle or Durham that joins the Northern Premier Division next season? That's a close one. I really don't know which way that's going to go. I do think Durham will win. It's whether Barnsley can spoil Newcastle's party. Right, let's go through to Division 1 Midlands then. These are just the final results. Here again, this one was all sewn up before last week, if you remember, with the 2 relegations and the champions of Stourbridge. So Doncaster Rovers Bells, they lose to Northampton Town by 2-0. Second half goals, Jade Bell, 70th minute, Alexandra Dick, 74th minute for Northampton Town. Stourbridge beat Leafield Athletic by 4-3. and then raised the trophy afterwards as well. Millie Rogers, 18th minute. Hannah Fishwick, 37th minute. Neve Deasy, 39th minute, with the goals in the first half for Stourbridge. All the goals coming in the first half for Leafield Athletic as well. Catherine Pagan also in the 18th minute. Jessica Lowe in the 34th. Daisy May Clements in the 37th. So in a 5-minute spell, there were 4 goals in that game. And in a 21-minute spell, there were 6. So, yeah, really back and forth game in the first half there. Stourbridge get the victory thanks to Lexi Harrison 5 minutes from time, and they then raise the trophy at Leafield after that. League Town 2, Peterborough United 0 in the later kickoff. 2 for Jennifer Jacks there, 12th and 48th minute. Then the big result, Lincoln City. 18-1 winners over Long Eaton United. Long Eaton United started this game with 10 and finished it with 9. And fair play to Long Eaton United to keep going. Well after they were relegated, it would have been easy to just say they couldn't field a team. But fair play to them for carrying on going. Lot of players, as you would expect, got on the score sheet for Lincoln here. 2 for Lucy Farrow, 4 for Madison Green, 3 for Leah Hardy, 2 for Faith Horner, 4 for Tony McHamilton, 1 for Ella Thompson Moulding, and 1 for Katie Williams as well. 2, 6, 9, 11, 12, 16. That is all 18. Ella Brennan with the goal for Long Eaton United. Sheffield against Wemtown, that was postponed because Wemtown couldn't raise a team. And Sporting Cowser 4, Solihull Moors 3. Eva Rogers, Lindsay Ross Baker and Tiana Russell Cartwright with the goals for Solihull Moors. Sporting Cowser, Olivia Woolston in the 25th and the 30th minute. Laura Smith in the 56th and Rebecca Hall in the 82nd minute. Meant Sporting Cowser took the 4-3 victory. What that means for the table is that Stourbridge, of course, were already champions. Doncaster Rovers Bells are going to be second. They've got that game against Peterborough. That kind of caused that, Stourbridge not particularly happy about the fact that got moved away and Stourbridge had to squeeze their games in, but doesn't matter in the end. A lot of movement in the mid-table. Again, a lot of teams switching places. Lincoln City with that big victory catapulted them up the table. They went from a goal difference of 2 to a goal difference of 19. And that lifted them up 3 places. So Solihull, Sheffield, Leafield will drop. League Town end up surviving by 10 points. Wemtown, of course, relegated into Tier 5. So there is only one game scheduled, which is that Doncaster Rovers Bells against Peterborough United game, which now doesn't matter. The Sheffield against Wemtown game it hasn't been scheduled yet. I suspect it now won't. It may well just be awarded to Sheffield. It may be a draw at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter. Wemtown are already relegated and placings in the league don't matter because there's no prize money. So I suspect that game might just not happen now. It might get played. It might be awarded, but I don't think that... my gut instinct is that it's not actually going to get played. Right, let's go through to South East then. This is the other one where the title has been decided. So AFC Wimbledon 1, Norwich City 0. Wimbledon, they pushed #United all the way. Emma Jane Plewer in the 36th minute, the goal for Wimbledon. Actonians win by 4-0 away at Cambridge United. 2 for Sophie Bajent, 1 for Alessandra Barreca, and 1 for Natsumi Kano as well for Actonians. Cambridge City beat Chesham United by 2-1. Cambridge City getting another victory in Division 1 South East. Sophie Billing in the 75th minute. Rebecca Blore had put Chesham United in front. Sophie Billing in the 75th minute equalised for Cambridge City, and then an own goal 5 minutes from time gave Cambridge City a 2-1 victory. But #United 4-0 winners over Queen's Park Rangers again. 2-0 up at half-time. Madison Shamni-Farand and Malika Apinda-Gill with the first half goals for #United. Samantha Rowland and Grace Gillard with the goals for # in the second half. Means the title, we knew that # were champions anyway, and there is no relegation. But Actonians finish in third. Cambridge City then leapfrog Cheshire United and don't finish bottom of the table. And finally then Division 1 Southwest. This one is also going to go another week. Cardiff City 3, Southampton Women's 1. Goals in this one to Cardiff, 2 for Chloe Lloyd and 1 for Laura Williams. Southampton Women haven't put their lineup up yet. Exeter City, they did what they needed to do. They win by 4-0 over Swindon Town. Jenna Markham in the 78th minute after 2 for Sarah Stacey, 33rd and 54th, and Zoe Watkins on the hour marks. Exeter have done all they can to get themselves into the Southern Premier Division. Maidenhead United against Larkhall Athletic was postponed. Larkhall apparently unable to raise a team. Moneyfields 3, Keynsham Town 1, a brace for Kuala Taylor, 22nd and 44th minute. Beth Burgess in the 84th minute. With another one for Moneyfields. Portishead Town just get past AFC St Austell by 4-3. Laura Barrett in the 21st minute, Amy Clark 17th and 52nd, and Rosie Hill in the 65th. Now Portishead did go down to 10 on the hour mark. Kaylee Brown, Teen Gray Roberts and Lucy Soloway, the scorers for AFC St Austell. And then in the later kickoff, Chelsea 0, AFC Bournemouth 1, Lucy Cooper on the hour mark getting the goal for Bournemouth. What it means then for the table is this. Exeter City top the table with 58 points from their 22 games. Cardiff City are in second. They're on 55 points, but they have only played 21. Moneyfields in third have played 20, but they can't catch them. Everyone else then has played 22, apart from AFC St Austell, who have also only played 21, but they're already relegated. So, here's the situation in Division 1 Southwest. Moneyfields against AFC St Austell. If you remember, it was postponed, and then it got put in for this weekend. Cardiff against Moneyfields was then also postponed, and then it got moved into midweek at a neutral venue, which caused Moneyfields to have to move their cup final. And then the neutral venue got waterlogged anyway, so it wasn't played. So they could have kept the cup final where it could have been anyway, and it was all a bit messy. The Cardiff Moneyfields game has now been put in this Sunday, as that will decide the title. The Moneyfields St Austell game has now been moved from this Sunday into a TBC, I suspect a similar situation to in the north with that Sheffield game. It won't get played. Same with the Maidenhead Larkhall game. I suspect that probably won't get played. Now, yes. Now, this is where my table differs, and I'll admit I meant to change this, but I will explain it anyway. When I did all of the results and all of the tables after the weekend's games, it was down as Maidenhead against Larkhall was a home walkover because Larkhall couldn't raise a team and kind of ergo forfeited the game, which is why I've got those teams on as 22. In the actual table on full time now, Maidenhead and Larkhall are down as 21 games played because that game was down as postponed, not a walkover. But it's also not been rescheduled. And bearing in mind it is now Thursday and the game was cancelled on Sunday, I think if it was going to be rescheduled, particularly because none of the, there aren't any fixture clashes anywhere. If it was going to be rescheduled, it would have been by now. So I think that's going to be, kind of how it finishes. I've only just noticed that. So yeah, but because Larkhall are down anyway and Maidenhead's safe anyway, I suspect it's not going to matter. So Cardiff against Moneyfields is now this weekend so that the title gets decided. Moneyfields against AFC St Austell may not get played. So the formula is very simple in Southwest. It's a lot easier than it is in the Southern Premier Division. If Cardiff win, they're champions. Anything other than a Cardiff win and Exeter are champions. Simple as that. So Cardiff will go to Moneyfields knowing exactly what they need to do. Not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. Away at Moneyfields. And this is a Moneyfields side who beat Cardiff by 4-0 in Cardiff. earlier on in the season. So, not going to be easy by any means. Will it be Exeter or will it be Cardiff back in the Southern Premier Division next season? We'll have to wait and see on that. But that's the situation on Sunday, and that is the end of the... that will be the end of the season then. As you can see, the whiteboard that used to be absolutely full of data is now extremely bare. Northern Premier Division... The Northern Premier Division is now completely blank, waiting on next year's teams. Division 1 Midlands, completely blank, waiting on next year's teams, as is Division 1 South East. They're just 3 leagues left to go. Speaking of waiting on next year's teams, I'll just run through those before we finish off today, because we have 6 of the 8 teams that are going to be in the FAWNL next season. So, excuse me, into Division 1 Midlands go Notts County and Sutton Coldfield Town. Into Division 1 North go Chester Street Town and FC United of Manchester. They're bouncing back. Into Division 1 South West, Torquay United and Abingdon United. And Division 1 South East are the ones where we don't yet know. We don't know either of them, actually. So, just bring those tables up. So, in the Eastern Region Women's Football League, the current situation is, with 2 games to go, AFC Sudbury are 5 points clear of Stevenage. They are 6 points clear of Needham Market, who have 3 games to go. Now, Needham Market have teams down towards the bottom. They could easily win all 3 of those games. AFC Sudbury, who are currently top, have Haringey Borough and Kings Lynn Town, who are 4th and 9th. Now, again, it's another situation here where you look at the goal difference and you think, well, Sudbury, they only need 2 points to get past Stevenage. They need 3 points, really, 4 points to get themselves past Needham Market. With Kings Lynn Town being down towards the bottom, 3 points will probably do it because of the goal difference tally. That finishes the 14th of May. So they've got a game this weekend and then a game next weekend. So then we will know about the Eastern region. Then in the London and South East Regional Women's Football League, it's a 22 game season here. It's a bit more difficult to go on. At the moment, it's a 2-horse race between Ebbsfleet and Worthing. Now, Worthing have 5 to go and they are 7 behind Ebbsfleet, but they have 3 games in hand on Ebbsfleet. So if they win all those games in hand, they'll go ahead. So Worthing, as I say, they've got 5 to play, including a couple of midweeks as well. 3 of them are at home. And so that finishes on the 24th. Ebbsfleet, their 2 games finish on the 28th. Now, I'm hoping that the London and South East Region Women's doesn't go down to like the last day, because if it does, then it's going to delay the start of the summer knockout tournament by a week. It is back this summer, but of course I need to know the 72 teams that will be in next year's FAWNL before I can start it. So I will be waiting and watching every week the London and South East Regional Women's League to see who will be joining us in Division 1 South East next season. But that'll do it for this week's Women's Football Chat. Thank you very much for watching and or listening as always. Keep supporting your local women's football team. Buy your tickets to the playoff. They are on sale now. I know we don't know which teams are in it yet, but through the league in kind of a neutral area. I know what they did last year, clubs kind of had set... clubs had an allocation as well, so you could sit with your own fans. Then there was kind of a neutral area as well. So if you're interested and you're a neutral, then you can buy your tickets now. If not, you might want to wait a bit for your team to release their tickets. But thank you very much for watching and or listening to this week's Women's Football Chat, and goodbye.